for the month of August for the Detroit Tigers. I'm a little bit late. I wanted to do this on the 1st, and I will do it for September on October 1st. So we can get right into it. We had a 12 and 14 record. We scored 95 runs and we allowed 110. So that answers why we have a negative record right there. We had a positive record the past 3 months with 14 wins in all three of those months. It was 14 and 13, 14 and 13, and then 14 and 12. So that's not bad. We'd love to have some maybe even like a 20 win month season in there next year. But we started April 9 and 18. So if we didn't start April 9 and 18, we would be in the wild card hunt right now. So that's the sole reason why we've been trailing for so long. We just started the season so poorly, but we went 7-3 at August 1st through the 12th. So we started off August really well. But then right after that, the 13th through the 21st, we went 2-6. So that's kind of where it took a dip and we became even. And then from there, we lost more than we won. So some pivotal games that we should have won that we did lose. The 10-2 lead against the LA Angels. You cannot lose a game up 10-2. We brought in Derek Holland and then Joe Jimenez. I mean, I don't know how we cannot win a game after leading 10-2. It's mind-boggling. But another game, the same series in the Angels. There, we were up, or it was 2-2 actually. In the top of the ninth, there was 2 outs with Soto on the mound, and he gave up a grand slam. So that put the game completely out of reach. That was a really winnable game. We were 1 out away from being able to maybe get a walk-off. So the 2-3 loss to the Twins in a makeup game at home, we used a huge bulk of our bullpen, and it kind of made us lose the next 2 games because we used so much of our bullpen in that game, and we only gave up 3 runs, and we still weren't able to win. So I think that was a really big loss because it also translated to other losses. But another one, we got Lars Nootbaar walked us off in a game against the Cardinals in an interleague series. So that was a really rough game. We definitely should have won that whole Cardinals series because we were pitching really well and hitting really well the game before it. So some great wins. We had the comeback in extra innings after Marcus Semien's error in the ninth that should have ended the game. So that error, he threw it to Vlad, he bounced it in the dirt, and then it was supposed to be the final out, and then we came back and won it in extra. So that was a huge win. It kind of gifted us that win. But the entire Baltimore series as well, great pitching. We had one sweep this entire month. It was against the Orioles, and then we got swept once by the Angels. We went 1-5 in the last 5 games of August against 3 wild card teams and the Twins. So we lost to the Blue Jays, Angels, and the Athletics. The worst pitching games was the 13 runs to LA and then the 11 runs to Cleveland. That was the game McKenzie almost pitched a perfect game against us through 7 1/3. Only 5 wins went to starters this month, so we have not had a lot of length from any of our starters. We used way too much bullpen in the entire month. We won 3 series the entire month against Boston, Baltimore, and Toronto. Series we should have won, the Indian series for sure, the 13th to the 15th, and then also that Angels series. We were winning in all of those games, or the first one or the second one we weren't winning, but it was a 1-run game for the entire time, and we weren't able to get another run. So some transactions we made during the entire month. We lost Isaac Paradas to begin the month. We still haven't got him back, so I'm hoping he will make an appearance before the season ends. We acquired backup catcher Dustin Garneau for cash from the Rockies because we were fearing that Haas was about to go down, and we did not want to have Grayson Greiner catching every day. We lost Jake Rogers for 60 days. That was announced in the middle of the month, so that really sucked. We got Jose Urena and Matt Boyd back. We DFA'd Buck Farmer, Erasmo Ramirez, and we released them, and they went on to other teams. We DFA'd Ian Kroll, Drew Hutchinson, and Renato Nunez, but we outrighted them back to AAA, so we still have them. Hutchinson's back on the team, and then Kroll and Renato are down there in AAA. We sent Nico Goodrum up twice from 2 separate injuries, so that's That's kind of up in the air if he's injury prone. He's had a lot in the last 2 years, so we sent down Daz Cameron, Zach Short, and Grayson Griner from poor play and to make space for other guys. Each starter's overview and low light here. So I kind of gave the stats for everything. I'm not going to read everyone's if you guys want to pause it. I'm just going to read some impressive ones and a couple alarming ones. Haas here had his least amount of homers with 1, and his worst on-base percentage and worst batting average at 250 and 213, as well as his worst slugging. So this was a really bad month from Haas. I guarantee it's because, like I said in the last video, there's just too much of a load on him. He's not getting many days off because we don't have Jake anymore, but I'm sure those numbers will pan out more if we play Garneau. So someone that played really, really well this month, Grossman, 4 homers. This was his best month of the year by far. Had his best batting average at 281. Had his third best on-base percentage at 363. That was an amazing month from him. Another good one was Candelario, 3 homers. That was he tied his most that month, and then he also had 13 RBIs with 315 on base percentage and hit 270. So it's a really solid month. Victor Reyes, also a standout. This was his best month. This is his first month he's really got playing time since April. So he hit 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and he hit 327 with a 340 on base percentage. That's elite. That's if he can hit like that at least for a half the season next year. That would be so helpful. But someone that's pretty bad here, Zach Short, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, a .96 batting average, and a .155 on base percentage, and almost 60 plate appearances. So it's not a huge sample size, but that's like playing every other day. And you're not even batting 100. And his 1 home run came in that 10-2 Angels loss, so it was meaningless. We lost the game anyway, but we can get into some of our pitchers. I'll read the majority of our pitchers because we have less of them. But so Casey Mize had a good month here. Not a great month, 1-2 with a 4.44 ERA, 24 innings with 17 strikeouts. So I'd like to see him striking guys out a little bit more. I know it's not really his game, but I mean, from the way we're making him pitch 4-seam slider, I would expect more strikeouts and less contact. But Skubal here, 2-2 with a 3.25 ERA. It's a really good month. 27 innings as well, 33 strikeouts. That's about what I'd expect from Skubal. Really great month, and I'm excited to see what he does in the whole month of September. Matt Manning, 1-1 with a 5.25 ERA in 20 innings with 14 strikeouts. That's brutal. I mean, it's not bad. We can take that for a first-year player. Next year is going to be a real test, so I'm excited for that. Gregory Soto here, 1-1 with a 4.05 ERA, 13 innings, 14 strikeouts, but he did have 5 saves. A rough month for Soto, probably one of his worst of the year. That ERA was just way too high than it was the last 2 or 3 months. He blew a couple saves. He gave up that grand slam to Joe Adell, so that's kind of the reason why it's so high. But Joe Jimenez, great month. I didn't expect this when I saw it. I was not expecting an ERA in the 2s, but he's really had a bounce back to the back end of the season here. No wins, but 2.7 ERA in 10 innings with 13 strikeouts. That's really helpful. I mean, it's not as good as the player below him here, Cisnero, with a 1-0 record and a 1.38 ERA in 13 innings. That's a great month for Cisnero. I mean, we got him 3 years ago, I think it was, and he was out of the MLB for about 5 years. So I'm glad we found him. We found a gem, another gem here. Funkhauser, 2-1 with a 1.26 ERA in 14 innings with 13 strikeouts. That is extremely impressive. Tyler Alexander, 1-1 with a 3.38 ERA in 24 innings and 18 strikeouts. He kind of started more. I don't know why I put him with the bullpen. I think he started every game in August, so that's great starter numbers. We'll still take that. But Falmer, 1-2 with a 2.63 ERA in 13 innings with 14 strikeouts. Pretty decent. Something I'm a little bit worried about with Falmer there is that 2 losses. He seems to not be clutch. He loses a lot of games. it's not really his fault all the time. Like sometimes there'll be a guy on second and we bring him in and we need that final out, and he doesn't get it majority of the time. But I like giving Fulmer a clean inning and letting him pitch like that. But yeah, that's the overview for all the players. I'll go back up here if any of you guys want to pause it and read some of the other batters. But yeah, so this was a good month, not a great month. It's obviously not as bad as it was back in April. We really shaped up the season, and we were getting over to 500. But as the month ended, we kind of the losses went up. So I wonder what we're gonna finish the season at. If I had to make a prediction, I'd go 72 wins and 90 losses. But yeah, leave your prediction for the month of September in the comments, and then the whole year. But yeah, I'll be back with the post game after the game.